All righty. Well, okay, so my whole journey started in 2014 when I tried to get my first novel published. And as it ended up, I found a small publisher, took it back, self-published. And in that process, taught me that I wanted to help other people get through all of that. And so I started Plot Duckies, which was an event business. And then now it's a publishing company. And I started Women's Thriller Writers Association during the middle of COVID because the traditional publishing method is broken, I feel. Authors have a hard time marketing a book, right? These are all the things I want to help authors with. There are over 600 searches a month for strong women in thrillers, right? Those are people looking for a book to read with a strong female character. And so I support writers in writing thrillers with strong female characters. And I want to mention that publishing gatekeepers like agents, some of them are idiots. Like the agent who told Linda Petrilli that her book didn't make any sense because a woman can't use a sniper rifle. And when she told me this, first of all, I was like, where is he? I'm going to go talk to him right now. And then I promised her I would help her publish her book, whether she wanted to go traditional publishing or however she wanted to do it. So she actually decided to go with my publishing company, and she had a #1 new release in political fiction. So it's agents like that that I want to make sure women authors don't have to deal with. I also run events. So I have the short story-a-thon where everyone starts on Friday night and on Sunday they publish their short story. 99% of everyone who publishes gets a #1 new release banner, which means they're a best-selling author. I also have a podcast. So the 5-Minute Author just won an award from New Mexico Press Women. I feel like I am fluffing my feathers, my peacock feathers, but this is everything that's been happening in the last 6 months. So I decided to try to become an expert in Amazon ads. And so about 1.5 years ago, Grace Point Publishing they heard that I had some experience with Amazon ads and they desperately needed someone to take over. So I took over their ads. Their old ads were losing money, right? They were making less on their books than they were spending on ads. So this is last month's spend versus sales. And actually the sales number in Amazon ads is never fully correct. So that number is actually bigger than that. Bless you. So I took their ads from losing to making money. And I took that information I learned and I wrote a book. So I have a book and my series about writing is called The 5-Minute Author. So that's my specific focus. And I do that because my past as an instructional designer, I know how to teach people and put things into very succinct packages, so people understand the information that I'm sharing. And how I make money. So I consult on publishing, on writing, on Amazon ads. I have events like my short story-a-thon. I have an author store. Things I feel that are scalable are my memberships. So people pay me monthly to be a member of Women's Thriller Writers Association. I generally get a new member every month without advertising. And I have online courses. I have an Amazon ads course. I have a course on how to write a book from beginning to publishing. And I could see developing a team to run Amazon ads for authors. And these are some of my wonderful members of the Women's Thriller Writers Association. We meet every Thursday night. And how I get the word out, I'm on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. I take almost every opportunity I can get to connect with people. So tonight, I'm going to be at a TikTok interview with other authors called Book Talk. Tomorrow, I'm presenting to the New Mexico Book Association about short stories. In September, I'm presenting to Southwest Writers about Amazon ads. And then I'm also teaching in October. So these are both NMBA and Southwest Writers are paid events. My challenges, number one, competing against someone who's also an expert in Amazon ads, but not a good teacher. So there's a Brian Cohen who's all over Facebook about his 5-day Amazon ad core challenge, free challenge, but he throws a lot of information at people and he loses a lot of his audience. But the people he does keep, he gets them into his course, right? But I want to be smarter about it somehow, but different. Find a way.
Know what to do.
I would love to help stop that.
I don't know if you recall, but back during COVID, restaurants were allowed.
All right, thank you. All right, so basically, I'm looking for creative ideas to get writers into what I am doing and find out about me. And I'm doing a lot, as much as I can think of. But is there also some other opportunities that I'm not seeing?
Some good challenges.
Yeah.
Good job, Sonia. So just for the newbies, if you don't know, we take questions now. So you can form a line here. And I'll call on you, and I'll also call on anybody online. Just post in chat that you would like to ask a question, and I will bring up chat. And we'll go back and forth between in-person and someone online.
All right.
Yes, go ahead and get us started.
I'm Paul Sutter, founder and chief scientific officer of Equiseed. So I see you're busy,
Yeah.
right? That's great. So one of the things that they teach us in an accelerator is every business needs to build an avatar of their customers. So this is everything that they do when they get up in the morning, everything they do until they go to bed at night. So the question is, what do writers do when they're not writing?
Well, most of them can't make a living off of writing, so most of them are working full-time. Working full-time business, or not a business, but working a full-time job, and then coming home and trying to write, trying to deal with selling their books, trying to make a living from those books. Yeah.
Yeah, so when they're not writing or working, when they're looking around for how to get out of this problem,
Oh,
that
that's
they
what you're
have.
saying.
what are they going to conferences? Are they going online to find answers? You know, where are they where did you start struggling with that before you decided to do it yourself?
Well, I guess that's a good question. So a lot of them are going to conferences. Right, and I do apply to speak at conferences. Sometimes it can be hard to get in.
Right.
But yeah, conferences.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right.
Miriam Ortiz Pino, More Than Organized. I love this problem. I love the idea of speaking at a lot of conferences and getting on podcasts, which I know you've started reaching out to others as well. I want to challenge you though, you're not in competition with that guy.
You think so?
No.
All right.
Because there's enough people in the world and enough people that want to be writers that he can do his thing over here and there's plenty of people for you to do your thing over here.
Yeah.
I think Paul's right with the defining the avatar where they might hang out with.
Yeah.
So contradictory niching down helps you not be in competition and really differentiating
Okay.
how you're different, and your story is what does that. But also any opportunity to speak and or other associations about writers. So there's a sci-fi group or association, and there's, you know, nonfiction people. Like you can do the ads for all of those people.
Yeah.
And some of them write in a couple different genres. So you might get people for that as well.
Okay. All
Would be
right.
my suggestion.
Okay.
The cross promotion of that.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I like the idea of not being in competition with Brian.
I'm gonna take a question online. Kuya, you had some ideas to share?
Thank you for the opportunity. So have you heard of this Chat GPT Whisperer that's been picked up? Basically, it's looking for writers and authors, like people that have such a good grasp of linguistics and things like that, to be able to optimize the questions and such. So I'm just wondering, maybe that might be a realm to look into. My brother's a cool hip guy, and he's been talking about how people would like linguistics and English and humanities, certain things actually are helping to optimize the way questions are asked for companies in the Chat GPT. So just a thought for that. And then secondly, this is actually for even selfish reasons, is if you wanted to expand into helping folks write for grants and business grants for government projects and stuff like that. Like I've got one I'm looking for USDA, I know, but that's exactly how I feel when I look at it. But someone with your things would do that. So anyways, first one's cool, second one's selfish.
Actually, my background is a technical writer, and I have written grants for UNM and all kinds of different projects. But I'm trying to get away from technical writing. I mean, I'm really good at it.
Yeah.
But I'd rather I want to make money as a creative. I appreciate it because I do know it is very lucrative to write grants. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, the first one was the cool one. Second was selfish. Thank you for letting me share.
Brian Steiner of Momentum Custom Software. So thanks for speaking, Sonia. So in my very limited experience with traditional publishing, publishers will typically pay the author in advance, and then the author will pay back that advance via a percentage of royalties. And that model made sense for a long time, and then the profits fell out, and it just became more and more difficult for publishers to even do that. With your model, it seems like the authors are basically paying you in advance. I mean, they're paying you. Do you have any kind of revenue split, or is it all just basically fee for service? Like, how does that inversion of
Yeah.
risk, of financial transaction, and time, like, how is that different
Right.
with you versus a traditional publisher?
So what happens with my publishing company? Basically, I don't charge anyone upfront. They get a contract from me that shows this is how much you owe me for all the work I've done on your book. And I take a larger percentage of the royalties until I'm paid back.
So it's basically like a reverse advance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then if they leave before I'm fully paid off, if they decide to publish somewhere else, they can do that, but they have to pay me completely off first before I'll release the book back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone in the industry said that I am what they call a book shepherd. So I kind of help authors. I'm not one of those, there are vanity publishers out there who will charge like $10,000 to publish your book and then not help you at all. But I'm much different model.
Or like software companies where someone wants a website for a book and you're like, I don't know if this is going to work. There's all this marketing, all this other stuff, but
Right.
it'd be $5,000 to make your website.
Yeah. You're right.
So it's interesting because with you, it's like there's this risk of time and energy and possibly money, but like you're like a banking book.
Yes.
So it's similar to the risks that traditional publishers accept, but
Right.
without that initial financial exchange.
Right.
So cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for helping me understand.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think it was funny, it was Linda's book, Linda Petrilli's book that I just published was a passion project. She has no online presence. And so I was just happy to help her. Her book is the highest selling book in my publishing company. It sells a book a day. I don't know what she's doing or how she's doing it, but she's talking to everybody she meets. I'm sure she's talking to every drugstore clerk and grocery store person, but like, it's amazing to me the difference. You never know how well a book is going to do until it's published and out in the world.
We're gonna go to Sue Pavosny online and then take on. Sue?
Yeah, hi. Sonia, I love your business model. I'm just trying to understand. I think one of your goals is to extend your outreach. And so I'm trying to understand what makes a writer a writer. And I know one of your groups targets women, thriller writers. And so you have that target audience. How else can we expand your target audience, understanding what makes a writer a writer?
So expanding my audience, I kind of do that through my events, like my short story-a-thon, because that is targeted to basically any writer who just wants to write a short story. Otherwise, I'm not quite sure how to answer your question. I mean, going to events at where different writers are, like Southwest Writers, that's other ways that I expand my audience.
To me, it sounds like when you call yourself the book shepherd, you're like an incredible mentor to these people. So you are, what's the word, encouraging them through your own experience, and then you're supporting them by publishing. And I'm thinking there's a story for you behind that.
Probably.
Is that it, Sue? You done?
Yes, thanks.
Okay. Hi.
How are you?
Good afternoon.
I'm Keikoa with Legacy Family Documentaries. Actually, so you have sounds like a pretty poppin' podcast. Is that strictly just like vocal, or is there video that's done with it?
There is no video. Basically, I am in the tiny corner of my bedroom in the closet,
Yeah.
and I would hate to take a video of that because I'm not.
You know, but what I would recommend, even though it's in the closet, people love, whether it's anywhere.
Yeah.
Being able to take those snippets, whether it's on video, even just putting like a nice background on there, virtual background, something.
Okay.
You could actually chop up those podcasts that are doing really well,
Yeah.
portion them out and use those to post on your social media platforms.
Okay.
So that's what I know it's like in a weird place and it's probably like, oh, this is ugly,
Yeah.
but there's a way that you can make it pretty. Or just it being in the closet in general is kind of cool, in the closet podcast.
Yeah.
But I would definitely probably just do a phone, something to get some type of footage to be able to chop that up,
Gotcha.
find the best points. Don't kill yourself trying to make it pretty. Just chop it up, post it on TikTok, Instagram,
Okay.
and let those reels start picking up a little bit.
Okay. I like that. I will try that out. All right. Reusing content we already have, right?
Most definitely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Mariam from Armenia.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And I appreciate a lot what you do because I'm also a women's rights activist and enthusiast for women empowerment. So my suggestion actually is to also understand how you can use blockchain technologies in what you do, because in a way you are trying to democratize and decentralize and avoid this publishing houses, let's say. And with blockchain technologies, actually, they work pretty well for journalists, and there are a few startups also that work for those who are writing books. And this way, through also smart contracts, the way you can split the royalties, it is much faster. And you can also use blockchain technologies to pre-sell the books that are not even written yet. And this is a great solution for crowdfunding. So maybe you can also think about using these technologies for your writers. That's
Okay.
my
Love
suggestion.
it. Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Mariam.
Mariam. Nice to meet you. All right.
Thank you. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Rosemary Prince. I'm an artist. And I have a question for you. What recommendations would you have for people who have self-published a book to sell online other than Amazon?
Well,
They seem to have the exclusive market.
right.
But if there's another place,
Is there another place to sell a book online? And there is actually. So if you didn't want to go with Amazon, you could self-publish on Draft2Digital or Ingram Spark.
Ingram Spark,
Yeah.
Draft to Digital.
Yeah, Draft2Digital is, well, I've mostly used them for ebooks, but they will distribute your ebook to Barnes and Noble, to Apple Books, to all the other platforms. And you can just unselect Amazon and they'll put it out to everyone else. Yeah, I know, because right, Amazon is the big machine,
Right.
but if you don't want to use them, there are other options. You're welcome.
And I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Adam, and I've got a company called Sparks Flow. And I also have been to your workshop and hope to go to one in October again. So that's really exciting, and I've enjoyed it. Also, my wife recently told me, like a big thing she would think would be great, is if I was telling a better story about what I was doing. And when Sue mentioned that about you, did we get the clincher there that like you could write the story about being a shepherd?
Yes, I think that's what I got from that conversation.
Okay, because that's, I was
Yeah,
like, ah,
that should
I wasn't-
share the story of the things that I'm doing.
yeah,
Yeah, thanks. That's where I was going.
What do you like about that idea?
I like that idea. You know, and in the back of my head, I'm currently writing that story, so thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
Sonia, I'm gonna suggest, because we had a workshop last week on OpenAI and Aton. He didn't just like briefly get into the tools and show you how. He literally took an audience member, sat her down, created her avatar, found her audience. She's a medium, by the way. Used all the tools to write pages and pages of strategic marketing material that she could use, and social media posts, like a couple dozen.
Yeah.
She's not on social media, and I was like, oh my God, what a waste. Like, she had so much material. If he allows me to share that video, I'll share it with you, but you should use those tools.
Yeah.
Because I think you could come up with some really great ideas on how to sell your platform
Yeah,
to people that maybe are not.
right?
Yeah.
I really wanted to go to that event
Oh,
too,
it
and
was
I couldn't
amazing.
make it.
It was the best workshop we've ever had.
All right.
Anybody else?
Thank you all. You all gave me some great information. I'm gonna go back through the video and write down a lot of notes.
All right, but you don't get off that easy.
I know, right?
You have to answer the official state question
All
of
right.
New Mexico,
All right.
red or green.
So, and I'm very specific, so I can eat the red from Las Salitas, because it is the only one that is gluten-free that I know of. If you guys know any other gluten-free red chili, let me know. It's really good though.
My house.
All right, and what can this community do for you?
Well, if anyone is a member of a writing group or a group of people who want to hear about writing short stories, writing novels, publishing, Amazon ads, please connect me with them. I'd love to know more.
All right,
Awesome.
gang, get out there and read a book.
All right.
Events?
So I have lots of events to share, and then we also like to hear from newbies. Do we have any? I know we have at least one newbie. We have someone who hasn't been here in years, he said. So if you haven't been here in years or you're a newbie, come on up. Do I have anybody online who's new? Just raise your hand, or